One of the boys crossed the day room to say hello to me. "How you doing, Mark? We missed you." "I missed you too, Santiago. It's good to be back." "Sorry about not coming to class today. I wanted to try meditation, see if it could make me relax." "How was it?" "It kind of sucked. The instructor was a guy." "But you look happy," I said. "I am happy. Something good happened to me today, Mark." Santiago grew serious for a moment. "I've been feeling really stressed because I started trial last Friday. This morning the chaplain saw me and he asked me what was wrong. I said, I feel like a piece of shit stuck under somebody's shoe. I told him how I had to hear the prosecutor say all this bad stuff about me in front of everybody. It was the worst day of my life. My whole family was there. I felt like I let everybody down. So the chaplain looks at me and he puts his hand on my shoulder like this, and he says, 'Diaz, you got to remember something. You are somebody. Don't ever forget that.' So I thought about it and I realized, damn, he's right. Nobody could take that away from me. I am somebody. Diaz, get your ass over here so we can eat." Santiago glared at the messenger and gave him the finger. The messenger pointed at Santiago and yanked his hand back and forth to simulate masturbation. The two boys exchanged threatening looks until honor had been restored. Then Santiago turned his attention back to me. "What were we—" "The chaplain," I said. "Oh, yeah. I am somebody," he said once more, grinning this time. "Somebody awful." When I can't make up my mind about something, I start a notebook. I use it to think aloud. I fill it with questions, arguments, and reassuring cliches. My notebook from August 1997 read, "Reasons not to visit Dwayne's writing class at Juvenile Hall. Students all gangbangers. Feel unqualified to evaluate poems about AK-47s. Still angry about getting mugged in 1978. Still angry about having my apartment robbed in 1986. Still angry about my wife's car being stolen in 1992. Wish we could tilt L.A. County and shake it until everybody with a shaved head and tattoos falls into the ocean. Feel uncomfortable around teenagers." On the next page, I wrote, "Reasons to visit Dwayne's class at Juvenile Hall. Have never seen the inside of a jail. Pretended to be enthusiastic when Dwayne mentioned it." The trouble started after I mentioned to Dwayne Noriyuki, a friend and writer for the Los Angeles Times, that I was having problems with my novel about a cloistered nun. "What kind of problems?" he asked. I didn't want to reveal the full extent of it. The plot had collapsed, the main characters seemed lifeless, the dialogue rang false, I had lost sight of the theme, and the setting felt wrong. So I limited myself to telling him about Carlos. Carlos was a minor character in the story, a juvenile delinquent with a terminal illness. Although I had given Carlos tattoos and a bald head, he failed to impress my editor. She thought he needed a personality. And please, 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 she urged in one of her notes, give him a different name. Los Angeles is the youth gang capital of the world, so I figured Dwayne must have had to write about them at some point. I asked if he could recommend any good books about juvenile delinquents that I could use for research. He thought about it, then answered, "Not really." I figured that was the end of that, but then he said, "But I volunteer down at Juvenile Hall twice a week. I teach a writing class there. If you'd like to come down and visit sometime, the guys could tell you more than any book." I didn't respond immediately. I wanted him to think I was giving it serious thought. Then I asked, "Are you sure you can't recommend any books?" "More reasons not to visit Dwayne's class. Jack Henry Abbott, Norman Mailer debacle. Who cares if thugs write well? They're still thugs. Crime victims don't get free writing classes. Why should the criminals? I gave free readings for the L.A. Library and Planned Parenthood this year. I did my bit. And then there was my deep-seated prejudice against writing classes. I taught creative writing once. At the end of that semester, I vowed never to put the words creative writing and class together in the same sentence again. During our first meeting, a female student read aloud a nonfiction piece about the day her mother discovered her father had been having an affair. As she came to the part of the story where her mother, driven hysterical with anger, scratched her father's face and drew blood, the memory was so painful that she burst into tears and barely made it.